The video you're about to see is a conversation between two people, a civilian and a member of the TTPS. The two have never met.
I'm JW and I'm here with the TTPS for the series called Ask Me Anything, and they're giving me the opportunity to ask an officer anything. You can imagine that? I have some questions to ask. Hope they can answer. Good morning. How are you, officer?
Good morning. I'm fine. And yourself?
All is well. So clearly it's, as they say, WPC, woman police constable. Am I correct?
Correct.
Right, because there's clearly a difference between woman police and policewoman, right?
That is very much true. Thank you for pointing that out.
For sure. So you are woman police?
I am a woman police.
Not a policewoman?
Not a policewoman.
Okay.
Or am I?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I want to find out from you, my first question.
Sure.
Is this a job to you or is this a calling?
I would say both. I would think that it's a job that I was able to be called to. If you would like me to go into this, I would say growing up, I always admired police officers, and that is something that I would have wanted to get into. But then the opportunity presented itself to me, and I would say that it's just lined up for me.
What about officers when you were growing up you found attractive?
So the main officer in my life growing up who really inspired me to want to be a police officer, I would say, was my godfather. And I actually grew up in Point Fortin, so really close-knit community. Most of your neighbors, you would know what they do on a daily basis. And we had a lot of officers in the community, but my godfather was really influential in seeing how people respected him, the way he carried himself, and the way that he was able to help persons around us. That is something that I would say really inspired me.
So now that you're an officer, obviously you went through your training, you as they say, pass out.
Pass out, yeah.
Right, passed out. You're on the beat now.
Yeah.
Do you get that respect? Do you see that same respect?
Oh, definitely. And not only from adults, but especially children when you're out there on patrol. And I, mostly in the Port of Spain area, I work in Port of Spain. So when you're passing by them, some children are even scared sometimes when they see you in uniform because they're a bit intimidated. So you would go up to them and you'd say, good morning, how you doing? And they'll be like, mommy the police, and that is a respect that it's encouraging for us as the officers to carry out our duties because we know that there are persons, especially kids, that are looking up to us and looking at what we're doing and they may even choose to be police officers later on.
You think women officers get an easier pass compared to your male counterparts? Because you said the children obviously come up to you and they're respectful, but I wonder if they are the same way. If you're on the beat or you're probably doing your particular duty and you're working with a male officer, is the reaction to you different to your male counterpart?
I would say no, we both get it. I would say it's the uniform, not necessarily man or woman, because they are intimidated by the prospect of a police officer, not a woman or a man, if you understand.
But as you deal with men as a woman police in uniform,
yes.
Do men, if you have to put forward an instruction, give a particular command, do they challenge you as you're a woman?
In my experience, I would say it's how the woman police officer would assert herself.
How do you assert yourself? Like, give me an example.
So I'm very firm in if it is I'm giving instructions, especially if the person is doing the wrong thing. And I am approaching that situation, I would know that they are going to give me some kind of
resistance?
Some kind of resistance, yes. So I will know going into the situation, okay, I need to be firm, I need to be clear in the instructions that I'm given and to know what I may deal with so that I am prepared before I even get to that point of they saying, well, you're a woman, what you could do, or challenging me in any kind of way.
Have you ever been intimidated in any way in terms of you giving an instruction, coming forward firm, but somebody literally pushing back and obviously don't want to hear you at all?
I would say when I had just passed out, an early experience, yes, because you're now on the field. It's not the training environment anymore, because the training environment is very much controlled. So what I would say is, when we just passed out and you're now dealing with members of the public, as a police officer, I would have been a bit more reluctant to approach persons and give them instructions. But having experience, because I'm in the job about 3 years now, having more experience being on the field, I would say I am way more confident, way more assertive when I have to deal with situations, and that resistance doesn't really faze me anymore.
Ever had a sleepless night when too many couldn't get the job out of your head?
Yes, that would have happened to me on one occasion, which would have been December 31st, 2019. There was a police-involved shooting in the Port of Spain area at the Central Market, in which 3 persons were killed. And we were the first responders to the said situation. So getting up to the incident, and there were 3 bodies on the ground. It was very much gory, and it had flies and these kind of things. And then we had to transport them to the Port of Spain General Hospital to seek medical attention. That is just something that really stayed with me, and a lot of my colleagues and I who would have responded to that situation, we spoke among ourselves, and a lot of us weren't able to get sleep for a little while, actually.
How you switch off though? Like, I mean, it's never going to take a job at home, but certain jobs, in terms of your profession,
Yeah.
this is, I could only imagine dealing with people having certain responsibilities.
Yeah.
What's your mechanism to switch off when you get home?
I say to myself, if it is I'm at home, and if I'm thinking about something regarding work, I ask myself, what can I do from home? And the answer is usually, you can't do anything until you get back to work. So I try to tell myself it's not okay to stay at home and pine over the situation when there isn't anything you need to do, and then you have responsibilities to do at home. So I say I will deal with it when I get back to work, and I try to focus on the things that I have going on at home, and that usually helps.
If all the stars align in your career, where you like to see yourself in terms of the TTPS as you look towards your career? Is this something you're looking at as the long game, or is just for a while? What's your goal for yourself here?
I definitely would say it is for the long game. I'm actually hoping to pursue studies in law enforcement. So I'm not saying necessarily a lawyer, but to get some law background in order to push myself forward and move to the next rank. Because as you said, I'm a WPC, so I'm a constable right now. But the dream for everyone, and mostly me, is to at least reach the rank of at least a superintendent or a ACP, as we say, to wear khaki, so that you could be able to look back and say, well, this is what I've accomplished, and this is where I came from, and this is, how far I've made it.
Excellent. I want to find out from you, and I've always wanted to find out from officers, when you're executing your duties, to me, it's one of the most frustrating things. Obviously, you're trying to, do your job, and somebody with a cell phone up in your face trying to, of course, probably capture you at your most vulnerable moment, or capture a mistake, or basically intimidating you. You're wicked, the chorus line.
Correct.
Is the worst of the worst. How do you deal with that? Have you ever been in that situation, and what's your way to temper that whole scenario when a camera in your face when you're trying to do your job?
So I look at it at 2 perspectives. I have actually been in this situation, and this goes back to what I was saying before, in that you prepare yourself before you get to that situation, so when it does happen, you know how you want to deal with it. Being in a situation like that and the person had the camera in my face, I would say that you would only get scared or if you know you're doing the wrong thing. And I was executing my duties rightfully, so it's not for me to get offended and push the camera out to my face and say, what are you taping me for, if you understand. That would show that, well, what am I trying to hide? But I'm going to confidently execute my duties because I know what I'm doing, I know what is the end result, because it's not that I'm victimizing or targeting someone. This would be someone that was doing something wrong, and I've responded and executed my duties in apprehending them, arresting, and carrying to the station. That is all that I have to do. I don't have to engage this person with the camera in my face and say, well, what are you taping for? And you want to get locked up too? And, because I would say that would escalate the situation more. And what we're trying to do is to get in, do what we have to do, and to disperse the crowd, because most of the times it's a crowd. So to disperse everyone and get back to the station and to do what you have to do.
But on a personal note, it must be frustrating to be taped when you're doing your duty, right?
It is frustrating, but you need to remember the uniform in which you wear and the reason why you are there. It's not that you're a normal person off the streets and somebody is coming up to you and taping you. You are a police officer, so persons will say, let me make sure I tape them, because next thing to do this or next thing to do that. And the next thing you're talking about is if it is you're doing the wrong thing. So that's what I'm saying. Once you know you're doing the right thing, and if it is they are taping you, you just do what you have to do to get out of that situation in order to not escalate it anymore. So what do you do?
Media and entertainment, radio, television, stage, hosting. Yeah.
Okay, how long have you been in that profession?
Over 20 years. I started in 1996. Wow. So yeah, that going on like what, 20?
It would be 25.
25, right. Well
it
done.
seems you started when I was born.
You serious? You that young?
Yes, I'm very young.
So you studied first when you was 22?
I did. And let me correct you one time. We're no longer referred to as a police force.
Sorry, service.
It's a police service.
To protect
and serve.
Yes,
that is correct.
Yes. Yeah. But I guess you have to be forceful in what you do at times, right?
The good thing is that out of 10 persons that you may meet on a daily basis, just about 2 or 3 of them give you that kind of resistance. So dealing with the public it's not really that bad, I would say. It's an experience that we get to live every day, sometimes good, sometimes scary, sometimes sad, a lot of emotions that you encounter dealing with different persons on a daily basis.
So basically the stuff we see might be going viral on social media. Those might be the worst of the worst, and obviously that's what will get the highlight then. So
that
basically
is very
saying
much
it's not as bad as it might seem.
It's not. And if persons were to put that kind of energy that they take in videotaping the wrong that the police do and that kind of thing, if they put that kind of energy into the good that we do and the good experiences that they have with officers on a daily basis, I'm pretty sure the videos and the messages that you see regarding the police service would be very much different than what you see right now.
Okay. So that's something too. I obviously, because of your line of work, it is a line of work that you could leave home this morning and don't necessarily go back home. We have seen that not only in Trinidad but across the world now.
Right.
So, I just always wanted to find out from officers that conversation, how that conversation has go with yourself now.
Sure.
In terms of having that conversation.
So I would want to ask you, said you've been in media and entertainment for the past 20, 25 years. Is that something that you see yourself staying in for the rest of your career, or do you have other aspirations that you would want to meet?
Well, I tried my hand at something different last year, and I bounced my head. So yeah, I gonna stay and bat in my crease. I going nowhere.
You're staying with what you're good at.
Yeah. Go tell me here what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably yes.
Right.
The intention is good, and it's always good to try something new.
Yes.
But my talent and my drive, and I guess my real impact is in media and what I do in entertainment, and I'll be able to still serve people and help people through that particular means of field.
Well, I guess it would come down to meaning that it's better to have tried and failed than you fail to try at all. And
of course, I'd rather give things a try and have no regrets, because to me, when opportunity presents itself or a scenario for you to follow a passion, if you don't jump at it, I think they always talk about old people.
Right.
When they lie down, always talk about things that they should have done now. So that the things that you don't really regret, the things
that they
you
actually
do,
Yeah.
So let me ask you now, because I mean, you mentioned responsibility and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you live and you're young.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if you're a Christian and you do really party and stuff, but if you're not and you go out and you, I mean, we can't do nothing right now, we're in a lockdown.
Yeah.
But generally, when you go out and you're freeing up yourself and thing, you kind of keep that in the back of your mind that you're officer, you just
So-
let go that and just give them full 630s, bust a split TikTok.
It's really funny that you would ask that because last year I would have attended Army Fed for the first time, right? And
How you come
as
back
we
yourself?
said, yeah, so as we were saying, I grew up in Point Fortin. I went to Holy Faith Convent, Penal.
Are you a convent girl?
Yeah, convent girl.
Convent?
Convent.
You say convent and all that?
Convent, yes.
Convent?
Convent.
Okay. Nice.
Right, so and I've never really been like, you know, a part of the party life.
But convent used to have a big
So-
bazaar back in the day though.
Yeah, but
You never
I
go
didn't
bazaar?
Party.
No, don't do that. You went bazaar.
Okay.
You went bazaar, you know you
I
get
went
scrubbed
bazaar,
down. You
went
get
bazaar,
scrubbed down in the
went
bazaar already. You do that.
Oh gosh, but you can't compare bazaar to Army Fed, so you know.
Well, bazaar, remember bazaars we are full scrub down here. That's how you're scrubbing, brushing new, you know. You're whining brutal in the wall, you know. Some young boy from
Shiva
Prince,
Boys.
from Shiva Boys.
Yeah.
And you practice that one in the mirror. I know, don't do that, man. You went bazaar, man. You know the thing.
Yeah, okay, fine. I went bazaar, but it wasn't on a scale of Army Fed. And then I went Army Fed last year, and I went with my mom and a friend. And
What did your mother tell me, fat?
Yeah, my mother, she partying and thing, boy. She was at me. She out there.
That different.
So we went together.
Mommy vibes, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And while I'm in Army Fed, I telling you, I was a little antsy because I always hear, you know, fighters break out in the crowd and that kind of thing.
No, you
And
know.
I telling my mother and my friend, I was like, oh yeah, I saw police now, you know. Next thing something happened here, what I had to do, I had to respond to that. You know, I'm not drinking nothing, don't give me nothing hard to drink. I only want shandy and water.
You serious? You going army for shandy?
I was like, hey, if anything happened here, I had to respond and I had to be on my, you know, I had to be on my P's and Q's thing. So, and they was like, girl, relax yourself, you off. You off duty, you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But to answer your question, it's definitely something that is always in the back of your mind. And I would hope that, you know, my other officers, they also have that awareness of the responsibility that you hold, whether you're on duty or off.
I feel for you to jump out yourself again and to go back to them early scrubbing days of bazaar. You had to go out of the country. You had to go to Grenada or you had to be away from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. So
your mind just at
it's
ease now.
at ease, yeah. So
Yeah,
if anything happened and nobody is saying, but wait now, that girl, and she's a police, so she just stand up there, she ain't doing nothing, you know?
So let me ask you something, you know. This is a very interesting one. And funny enough, it's something that women masqueraders,
Yeah.
because I know we had no carnival last year, so I don't know, you ever patrol, you was ever out for carnival working in
Yes,
uniform?
I was.
Okay, was that frustrating? Watching everybody having a time and you just had to stand up there?
So as I was saying, but it seemed that you don't believe me. I've actually never played mouse. I never played Juve. So you asking me some things and thinking about it, it's really just bazaar and Army Fed. So
Serious?
yeah, so I wasn't really fazed by it. I wasn't like, way boy, I wish that was me. I wish, you know, I was on the road.
Like I'm missing it, I was there, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, no. I didn't really get a feeling.
Because what's interesting for carnival, I always notice women masqueraders tend to throw back wine on the male officers. I know the hierarchy and the uppers would have told officers,
Yeah,
it's a
not to
practice,
engage in that.
not to engage. We would have seen footage in the past with male officers jumping out themselves and send back the wine with wine.
Correct.
But if a man play mad, right, and try to come and, I mean, I don't think anybody that crazy to try and wind up on a woman in uniform, but if somebody was to approach you in that way, what will be your response?
I would simply
going back?
tell them no, definitely not.
Quite
Definitely not. No. I'm
okay.
walking back and saying, you know, it's okay, don't do that.
Okay, I understand.
But it's interesting that you asked me that because is it that in your point of view, women police officers, you know, we have like a, how would I say it, like a greater responsibility when we're in uniform, because you said that it's okay for the man while he was whining back, But if a man comes to me to do it, you know, if I would respond differently.
Oh no, so like for me, it's not that it's okay because
Okay.
obviously male officers, funny enough, are the ones engaged by females
Yeah.
who are not in uniform. Women seem to get some kind of kicks or some kind of thrill
Yeah.
on
Whining on a male
whining
officer.
on an officer. We've seen it all over. Woman has wind back roll. I've seen an officer at time. That went viral. I don't know if you remember that. A man was in a house party in uniform and the man joking down the woman, the patron, and she normal fancy clothes now. But for the life of me, I never see nobody
And a woman officer.
lose their mind and really come behind a female officer. I've never seen a female officer, in uniform,
Yeah.
say, on tape, whining on a male civilian.
Masquerade or something. Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of, I think I respect obviously for women, of course,
Yeah.
and women in uniform, but I just wondered if you've ever wrap your mind around that concept if somebody was to be as crazy to try
Yeah.
to attempt that, but
So we're in a pandemic now. How has it been treating you? Because I know you said you're in media, so are you still working right now? You have any projects going on or?
Yeah, well, last year, I would have left to pursue a passion of mine, which was to represent, representation.
Okay.
It didn't work out, and
Okay.
it was tough, trying to just build back from scratch, from start.
Yeah.
Still building back, but at least, thank God I never burned the bridge and I never shake up the cage to a point where,
You can't go back.
yeah. So now that I'm back, I'm just hoping that at some point we could open up and we could gather again, because that is where any particular media practitioner or
Yeah.
host like myself would get a chance to make alternative funds and
yeah.
be able to, put a little extra on the table.
Understood.
Yeah, so basically the fact that we can't gather, it's causing a serious financial strain on people like myself and entertainers and people who obviously,
Yeah.
have to meet and interact with people, whether it be in a crowd or in a party scenario or a
Yeah.
corporate event to make money.
Okay. And have you done any of, because I see persons in the industry, they're doing a lot of like virtual shows and that kind of thing. Have you ventured to that as yet? Or?
Yeah, definitely, but
Okay.
it's not the same, when you get that instantaneous, immediate reaction from a crowd,
Yeah.
you get to feel that energy, see people, real people.
Right.
It's different when you're talking to a camera and seeing
Yeah.
reactions via a screen, But yes, virtual, I've done it. And it wasn't a hard transition because I started my career on TV, so performing in front of camera is not
Yeah.
really hard for me.
Is it something that, being an entertainer, is it something that you fell into, or you just always had a personality like growing up and you knew that was for you to get into?
Yeah, so the last part you said, that's exactly how it was. I always loved to talk, loved
Yeah.
to make my family laugh. I was always very much, very entertaining.
Yeah.
But quiet at the same time.
Right.
A major part of me is very quiet and laid back.
Okay.
But, I know how to activate and how to turn things up. So the same bazaar that used to go, I used to go
Right.
bazaars as a youth man, and I was life for the party. From
Okay.
the age 13, 14, I dancing,
Yeah.
everybody around me, I hyping up these scenes with my friends now. And I just ended up turning that into my career. It worked out for me, thankfully.
Thankfully.
At a very young age, straight out of school. Went straight into my career on television, then onto radio, and after that, hosting and performing, doing Soca Monarch, and going overseas to perform, and seeing the culture and seeing the appreciation for the culture
Yes.
out of Trinidad and Tobago.
You said you're from Point Fortin, Los Euros?
Well, I grew up in Erin.
Erin.
So our family in Erin, Los Bajo, Captiville, Rancho Comado, all them parts.
Have
And
you-
Point Fortin too.
Have you been there recently?
Honestly, I didn't go down Point for a while because the place locked down now. But normally when I go down Point,
Yeah.
I pass by Paddy's. Paddy's?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. That dal and rice.
My mom works a minute away from Paddy's.
Serious?
She has, you may know my mother. So we're passing Paddy's, heading back to the main road.
Yeah,
On the right-hand side, there's the floral shop.
Of course.
And there's the hairdresser.
Obliquely opposite courts?
No, stay on the road at Paddy's. That's Aga Road. Yeah. So That's what I say. You're going back to the main road on the railroad parties.
Yes,
It have the flower shop there.
On the left-hand side, or?
On the right. On the right.
Okay,
It have the flower shop and then have the hairdresser. And then the seamstress. So my mom is actually the hairdresser right there.
Fantastic.
She's been there for the past 21 years.
Wow,
Paddy's
amazing.
boy, that doll.
Listen, Paddy, when I reach, I call Paddy.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Paddy,
yeah,
have it
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Paddy, have it there ready for me. You know,
You get
I
that
love point, I
mango.
love point.
Oh,
I do
gosh,
borrowed
oh,
though.
gosh.
I haven't done borrowed for a while, honestly. I find it get a bit
So what would really interest you is that the year I was born was actually Borody. I am a proper Boro baby.
So you born on
On Borody, yeah.
You serious?
Mm-hmm.
So you Borody used to be when is Borody again, by?
Boro is in May, so
Yes.
my birthday is actually the 5th of May.
So you're Taurus?
I am.
I'm a Taurus too, you know.
You lie.
Yeah, April 25th.
Just now, April Taurus or May Taurus?
April 25th. So I am
I
exactly
was-
10 days and
I don't know if I could accept.
plenty years in front of you.
Okay, fine. I will take you. A Taurus is a Taurus. I'm not this.
Oh, hold on. You trying to tell me May Taurus better than April Taurus?
I'm not trying to tell you, but if it was to be said, that is what they would say.
I will not
yeah.
have you, huh? I will not have you. I will not have you. Taurus is Taurus.
Ah,
You know, full stop there. But, you know, point
Right.
nice, you know. Point,
yeah, definitely. So my grandmom is down there. She actually just turned 75, and you know, she was saying in the months coming up, she's like, oh gosh, girl, I don't know if I'm gonna make this 75 or not. Oh God, this is gonna be a hard 75. And then on the day she turned 75, I say, well, look, you reach here, she now. Oh God, girl, this is 76 to
Yeah,
come.
of course. Yeah. That, and every Christmas, oh God, this is my last Christmas.
Watch now, you know that?
Oh God. It's my last
You
independence.
know that, but I go down, they
Yeah.
gonna miss me.
Yeah.
What can I say? You're not going anywhere.
My grandmama, my father's side, well, she died when I was in my 20s, but since
Okay.
I probably 10 years old, that's my last Christmas,
Yeah.
oh God. What you gonna do?
Definitely,
Yeah, how do you
definitely.
think go? But so people is good people, man. I mean,
Very
obviously,
much
Irene is the foundation. I live in
Yeah.
up somewhere now, but I would
Okay.
have spent some time in Komoto
Okay.
and
Living.
St. James. So I kind of get a nice little, you know, I kind of get a nice feel of the country through
Yeah.
my movements as a child with my mom and my sister.
But what I would ask you is, having left Point and living, you know, those various places, do you think that you would return to Point Fortin to live
Probably for
at any point?
Probably for retire. Honestly, I think my life and my business and all the opportunities kind of evolve around Port of Spain and the city and
Yeah.
environs. I think Point 14, obviously, if I enter energy and gas, will be, you know, a good place to settle and put down the anchor.
Right.
But I really can't see myself at this point in time going
go
back
back
to
and
Erin
live
or
there,
Lucero to
I
live per
completely
se.
agree.
Probably
I
when I
agree.
pack up and I too reach like our granny, reach 75 and start to talk, but it's my
Yeah.
last Christmas something, and I probably, you know, because I honestly love when I go down to check family. I love the
Yeah.
serenity, the peace of mind. It really
Yeah.
is a whole different mindset and a different feel.
That is so true.
But in terms of livelihood and actually living, I don't know if I could do it at this point. I kind of get in tune to this space, you know.
Correct.
But you, if you get positioned down, point in the station down there, you're going back home?
Boy, let me tell you something. I thought about that, sir, and when I had applied for this job, I was living in San Fernando at the time, saying I had to put a San Fernando address, and I was saying, I just hope they don't send me to go and work in Point. Reason, number one, is because everybody in Point know me. Like, you know, you just know everybody. So the first thing they were saying, next thing I had to arrest somebody down there, first thing they're saying, yeah, it's Marcia daughter, lock him up, you know. You know, or I think when I walking on patrol, they go see her, Marcia daughter, is our police now?
Yeah. Make out
You
scene.
know, so yeah,
Make out scene,
in my opinion, working in Port of Spain, it's nice to have that separation where persons, they don't necessarily know where you come from, but they know that you are an officer and you're just doing your job and you just get it done, you know, without all the extras.
Any point people ever in town make you out and like still make you out and
Yes, boy.
nice. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Same Marcia daughter, all in Port of Spain.
So what you doing for food today? Man?
Drop it.
What you doing for food?
Go, man. Make a little soup here.
But food open back. It must have something around here. Are you hungry right now? I believe. You're not hearing it?
The amount of cooking I did for the past few months,
Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to go and buy food again.